This is Yelawolf and say what?
Hey. All right, you're tuned in to Say What with Sandy. I'm here with an artist who cannot be boxed in. He's a rapper, a rocker, he's an actor, and just an all-around rebel. And he just played a crazy show in Ventura, California. There was cake throwing, there was golfing. I've never seen a show like it before. And this is the 45 tour. Is there any significance to that number? I know you're going to be 45 this year.
Yeah, we're leaning into 45. It was partly my birthday, and it was also like we named the next album that I'm doing 45, and we thought it proper to lean into 45. We're breaking a song on this tour called Simple, and produced
Is
by
that what you
my
played
lady.
tonight?
Yeah, it was the last song I played tonight, and so yeah, we're just I'm just leaning into it, just you know, moving up, artistically speaking. Just I told Malay that I wanted to do a record where I didn't want to rap the entire album. I was like, look, I don't want to rap. Let's just give me a bed of music that I can sing to, I did a record with Shooter Jennings called Sometimes Why, which was a rock and roll record, which I sang the whole record. But of course, like rock and roll pushes a different energy out. And Malay and I are working on something more uh, personal and in your face kind of vocals. So
What kind of genre would you describe it?
you know what? I'm curious to see where it falls into. I don't know. I well, I've never heard myself like this. Even Malay, like we during the making of this project, we've surprised ourselves during sessions. Like damn man, like I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know how it's gonna be placed. But that's the cool thing about art and music is if a fan comes in and the first thing they hear is Pop the Trunk or Daddy's Lambo or early hip hop record that I did, it definitely doesn't lean into what we're doing now. But if they've been paying attention to a record like Till It's Gone or Have a Great Flight, um, or Ball and Chain, which is a couple records that I've sang throughout my career, or Sometimes Why, uh, they'll be pleasantly surprised. There's going to be a number of fans that's been down from the beginning that are going to be hopefully lifted up and thrown into a new level. But I anticipate a lot of new ears, a lot of new fans off the 45 record because it's a completely new sound. Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear it.
Thank you.
I recently watched your documentary Slumerican Life, and I thought that was amazing, really fascinating. And I'm curious if you could share a little bit about what Slumerican means to you and how it's evolved, if it has, with you over the years.
Yeah, the Slumerican Life documentary was, the idea of, just traveling the country and meeting other like-minded people that understand the sentiment of Slumerican really is just, it's a celebration of the bottom, slum, American Slumerican. It's just kind of a play on words. So when we first started throwing the word around, it was just like something that we were identifying music and fashion and art and culture with by giving it a title. And at first it was just a tattoo, and then we started making shirts, and then but before we had shirts printed, we had more tattoos around the world. People really seemed to understand what we were saying, and so we started sussing out people around the country that understood what we were saying and how we were saying it and what they represented with their take on Slumerican. So artisans, builders, blanket makers, and you know what I mean, like it just went all the way from hanging out with Bobby at Indian Larry in Brooklyn, with the Indian Larry estate, and all the way to hanging out with Shaky in Louisiana in the swamps. It's just like if you understood it, we were celebrating those people that understood the concept of it.
That was my favorite part of it, was that you showcased people in America that are not typically shown in the media, and you just kind of fit in with all walks of life. Have you always been able to just make friends with everyone, everywhere you go?
Yeah, my mom's always, like, she said, he's anybody's dog that'll hunt. That's what my mama said, she's like, that's an Alabama quote from my mama. He's anybody's dog that'll hunt. That's like, if you're down to just be, I find my people in that world. And, we don't have to relate musically. We don't have to relate. There's some sort of like kindred spirit that happens, and I've been very fortunate because that's like allowed a lot of very unique fans to get attached to the music, because they understand that it's deeper than just the song. And because my story is my music, but I can't speak every word of my story. It's impossible. It's like, you gotta think about this. There's only 3 minutes and 30 seconds to a song. How do you encapsulate that? You know what I mean? It's difficult. So there's legs to it, so that's why I connect with people that express themselves in different ways: photographers, artists, jewelry makers, leather makers, bike builders, car builders, just all walks of life that understand the concept of like, look, I come from the bottom. I've made something of myself in America, and not just America, around the world, but coming from a place that is like an unexpected area and an unsupported area of the community, but herein lies these stars. Like a light in the dark is how I've always seen it. I've always like, there's something to be celebrated in the shadows, and that's what Slumerican's about. Really, it is. It's like, just giving light to those that have not had light yet. Because there's a lot of beauty out there. And from face value, they could be overlooked. But I feel like what we've done with Slumerican is to give a foundation to those who are less celebrated, less appreciated, and to build them up, and to keep going up.
That's super important.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of a weird question, but what would you say is the most Slumerican thing that you do on a daily, like your daily routine?
Well, I live and breathe it. I created it. I conjured up the word, and the first thing that I came up with, well, first of all, was on the back of my legs. I had Slumerican down one leg and Citizen. Slumerican Citizen. Instead of American Citizen, it was Slumerican Citizen. And the idea was like, if I get hemmed up or if I have to run from the police, then they can just read the back of my legs. That was the idea. And then the first song that I recorded was Killer Mike in Atlanta, Georgia, called Slumerican Citizen with Willpower. And when I was talking to Killer Mike, he understood exactly what I was saying, and we did this song called Slumerican Citizen on Radioactive. And he encapsulated it so perfectly at the end. When he started to ad-lib, it was just like, man, there it is, like that's what we're doing. What I do on a daily basis, everything that I do is literally from the moment I wake up and start moving, from the clothes I put on to how I carry myself to even golf now. You know what I mean? Like how could you ever imagine that? But as soon as I started golfing, like my boy Steve Malbin, who's now got Malbin Golf Brand, he used to run a publication in Atlanta, Georgia called Frank 151. And Frank 151 was a publication out of Atlanta that would cover, parts of my crew: graffiti, skateboarding, b-boying, DJing, culture out of Atlanta. He had now started a golf brand, and when I started golfing, he hit me up. So that's become another leg of what we do, and I could have never, yeah, I could have never seen that coming. Yeah, our idea to add it to the show came halfway through the tour. We just decided, like, hey man, let's hit some money balls out. Like, let's just have fun with it, because you know, the more I do it, it reminds me so much of skateboarding, and that it's so independent. It's only it's your fault. You're the only one to blame, and that's the part. And it's so fucking hard, like skateboarding, and being an artist. There's so many like ties, you know, honestly, that come with it that I thought it appropriate for the crew. So now we got the Scallywag Gang, you know, with Slumerican, and now we're playing tournaments, and it's just fun, man. We're just having fun with it. I mean, that.
I said earlier, I feel like it's every dude's dream to hit a ball into a crowd of people, and you're up there doing it.
Yeah, I dumped a couple tonight. It was tight. I had a couple dubs. This was the first night that I wasn't ace every one, but I did get the money ball up in the air, so that's good.
That's what counts. Okay, so you brought up tattoos. I wanted to ask you about either the tattoo you regret the most, or like a tattoo that has like a really cool story behind it.
Yeah, I don't have any regrets for any tattoo that I've collected over the years. Every tattoo definitely has a story. I think my most personal piece is like on my back is a portrait of my three kids, and that's, you know, to me symbolizing that they have my back, you know, and they're the support, the drive that I've, you know, they're the energy that pushes me to keep working. But you know, tattoos are everyone has a different goal. You know, some people that collect tattoos are just aesthetic. Mine are all from all over the world, from different artists, and you know, each tattoo it's a moment in my life. You know what I mean? And I don't regret anything, you know. Like, I'm very spontaneous. When I go to a tattoo shop, I didn't have like a month-long plan. It's like 30 minutes before I walk through the door, like, yeah, I'm going through some shit right now, so why don't you strap forgiveness underneath my chin, you know? It's like, because I need forgiveness right now, and that's what happened. And I've got even silly shit like mold school, or which is just some shit that Clever said backstage. He said, boy, you ain't old school, you mold school, which is a whole different level of old school. I've got one somewhere that says Wankdorf, because we were in Wankdorf, Germany. And I was like, Wankdorf? I was like, hell no, I want Wankdorf on me somewhere. Where's Wankdorf? There's Wankdorf. Wankdorf.
You're inspiring me. I think I need more spontaneous tattoos.
So, I mean, I've got so many tattoos that I can afford some silly ones. You know, I mean, everybody's different, you know.
I wanted to ask you, so also about the part in the documentary where you go to New Orleans and you're getting like a tarot card reading, and you're talking about your grandma who was a witch.
Yeah.
I think that's just so fascinating. And what is like a superstition? Are you superstitious, would you say?
I wouldn't say that I'm superstitious, but I'm very I'm aware. Yeah.
Okay. So there's not like a specific weird superstition that you're like 100% true if I don't do this.
No.
Okay.
I don't have any like consistent practices that I do every day that like ensure, or that helps me to ensure some kind of result for the day. No.
Not reading your zodiac, horoscope, anything.
No. I just kind of let it flow, and I can tell you that 2025 and 45 have a lot of synchronicities, and 45 is a very special number this year in 2025, and there's a lot of celestial alignment that's happening with 45. So I've been noticing it, and this tour has been the best that it's ever been. The energy from the crowd, and you know, there's a lot of families bringing kids out, and now I'm taking this next launch into 45, my next record, which is the singing record. So I just let it flow, man, and you know, I mean, you don't really recognize a blessing until it's in front of your face. You know, you can't it's not like pulling a slot machine.
Yeah. Do you think you could survive in a zombie apocalypse? And if so, what would your weapon of choice be?
So, surviving a zombie apocalypse. Can I? You're asking?
Yeah. You seem like the
Could
kind of
I?
guy that can.
The question is, do I want to?
Yeah, that's a good one.
My dad, whom I met when I was 14 years old, is my daddy. I don't know my biological father, I don't know, but my daddy when I met when I was 15, Jim Garner, he's a gangster. And he always tells me, son, if it ever goes down, I got an arsenal off in Rome, Georgia. We're good. You know what I'm saying? I got an army's worth of guns and ammo. We're good. But to be honest, I don't think I want to survive something like that. I'm not. I don't know if I would want to live through that. If it takes that much to survive, I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'll just stand out in the streets and let them come eat me. I'm like, well, fuck it, let's go.
Go out with a bang. All right. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah, you're
sitting down with
welcome.
me. This is amazing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Last thing, can I just get a say what?
Hey, this is Yelawolf, and say what?
Hey.